Welcome to Mittler Senior Technology, the world's premier computer and smartphone education service designed for senior citizens. My name is Jordan Mittler, and I'm the director and founder of the program. And it's so great to have you all here with us today for our introduction to the world of online shopping. Whether you've shopped many times before or this is your first time approaching online shopping, you are in the right place because we're going to walk you through everything you need to know to go from finding an item online to having it laying outside your doorstep ready to go. But before we get into the actual material of today, as per usual, we want to open by stating our mission statement, which is that it's really the responsibility of the younger generation to educate seniors about technology. The goal of our program is to provide professional computer and smartphone services to enhance and simplify the lives of senior citizens across the globe and to cure the issue of social isolation. And we thank you for helping us and supporting us on this mission and really contributing and joining the class today. So to get into things, let's begin by talking about an example that you might be relatively familiar with, which is the idea of walking to a physical store to make an actual purchase. So back before there was online shopping, how would you think about making a purchase? For example, let's say you wanted to make a purchase of a pair of shoes, and you're at home, and you decide it's now time. I want to purchase my brand new pair of shoes. The first question that you probably have is, what brand do I want to purchase these shoes from? So for example, let's say you're considering these four brands. You're considering Nike, Allbirds, Cole Haan, and Adidas, and you decide, okay, I want to go with a pair of Nike shoes. I'm looking to purchase my brand new pair of Nike shoes. And obviously, once you make this decision of Nike, you have to then figure out where to go to actually make this purchase. So you're considering four different stores, all of which, of course, have to be in proximity to your home and obviously reachable. And you're considering store A, B, C, and D. But in reality, you actually can't figure out which of these stores has what you're trying to purchase until you actually go there and actually see what they have in stock. So you go from store to store to store to store to find exactly what you're looking for. And unfortunately, not all these stores end up working out. The first one, as you can see, actually didn't have Nike shoes at all. So that was, of course, an X. Now, the second shoe, it actually, luckily enough, did have Nike shoes, but unfortunately didn't have the size you were looking for. And finally, you approached that third store ready to go. They had Nike shoes in that size, but didn't have the style or the color that you were looking to actually purchase. And finally, you reach store number 4, which luckily enough has not only Nike brand, but has the size and the style that you're looking to actually purchase. And of course, once you actually make that purchase, well, what do you have to do? You have to then wait in this mega line, waiting for your receipt and your printing and kind of going through that entire process, credit card swiping, that whole ordeal, waiting in line. And then finally, once you make the purchase, there's still that extra step of walking home with your big mega boxes of shoes or whatever it is that you're going ahead to purchase. And only then will you have the item safe and sound in the comfort of your home. So as you can imagine, this whole process is quite time consuming. It's something that really is not the best way to do it. And that was the product that we now know of as online shopping, to solve these problems, to fix the issue of having to choose a location and having to go physically from location to location to actually go ahead and find the product that you're looking for. So online shopping, to kind of set in stage an actual definition, is a convenient way to buy almost anything from the comfort of your home. You really have no restrictions, and you're able, from the comfort of your home, literally sitting in your living room on your couch, to make a purchase and to have that item appear right at your doorstep. Now, to convince you a little bit further, let's begin to kind of dive deeper into the advantages of why you would actually go ahead and use online shopping as opposed to what you, I'm sure, are very used to of walking into a physical store. And that first thing that I'll point out is simply convenience, which hopefully is a little bit self-explanatory now, but you don't really have to go anywhere. From the comfort of your home, you could actually make that purchase. You don't need to hold all those boxes, but rather that box, your product will appear right at your doorstep. Now, in addition, we also have variety in the sense that you don't have to go from store to store looking for a specific style or size, but rather you have access to all those styles and all those sizes directly from the comfort of your home. Now, of course, we also have speed. Like I mentioned, this is very time-consuming, going to a physical store, and sometimes if they don't have it in store, they have to order it, and you have to wait, and then you have to come back, and you have to kind of go through this entire process. But rather, when it comes to online shopping, typically this process can be done much faster, especially as online shopping has developed in the past few years. And then finally, pricing. When you're shopping online from your home, you're able to kind of scout out and find the best price for that product that you're looking for by looking at different websites, by looking at different consumers and products, and seeing what style, what price aligns best with your budget. So overall, we have these four main advantages. We have convenience, variety, speed, and pricing, which all go towards the point that we're trying to make, that online shopping is the way to go, that this is the right path to take in order to purchase those items without the struggle and the inconvenience of going to a physical store. Now, we're going to look at two specific companies today, two specific websites with regard to online shopping. But as I'll mention over the course of today's class, this is just an introduction. There's a ton more that you could explore, and hopefully what we're going to show you today will give you the framework. It will give you the introduction you need to go out on your own and make those purchases and explore those other websites. But for the purpose of today, we're going to be looking at hopefully two websites that you've heard of, the first being Google, one of the most popular search engines out there, which allows you to find really anything in the world, not just online shopping, but we're going to kind of focus today on how to use Google for the purpose of online shopping. And then secondly, we have Amazon, the world's premier kind of online shopping site you could use for really shopping for anything. It is everyone's kind of go-to for buying products and finding different prices of different items. And we're going to look at both Google and Amazon today. But as I mentioned, there are also a lot of other online shopping websites that you could look for in addition to these two. And I will point out that we have a full class on these different websites, on Google, on Amazon, on many other common websites that you could access by visiting mittlerseniortech.com. Now you'll notice here I put up some logos. You might notice we have Fresh Direct, we have Gap, and we have Barnes & Noble. Now these are three websites of stores that allow you to purchase specific items. So in this context, Fresh Direct is where you would go to purchase groceries. Gap, of course, for clothing, and Barnes & Noble for books. Now, in this context, if you're going to Fresh Direct, Gap, or Barnes & Noble, you really have an idea of what it is that you want to purchase. Versus Google and Amazon, these are sites you go to where you kind of are more broad. You're more broad thinking in the sense that you could really be shopping for anything. But if you know from the beginning that you want to purchase groceries, in that context, it does make sense to go to the website that you are in fact looking to purchase the item from. If you want to buy a shirt from Gap, it doesn't make sense to start from Google or Amazon, but rather go directly to the Gap website and find their prices and all their relevant information directly from the seller itself. And same thing goes from Barnes & Noble and the many other online shopping websites that are available today. But as I've said, we're going to focus on the general ones because that hopefully is most applicable to you, and that's both Google and Amazon. Okay, so we're going to start today with Google, which, as I mentioned, is the world's kind of best search engine tool used for really finding any pieces of information, asking questions, and finding details about really anything. But in this context, we're going to be looking at Google with regard to online shopping, how to use this tool to best find what you're looking for. And you'll notice I put the little icon here at the bottom right, which is used in the case that you want to use these apps like Google and Amazon on your smartphone as well. For today, we're going to be looking at it on a computer because, as you can imagine, it's a bigger screen and it's usually easier to online shop from a computer screen itself. But you do have the flexibility, if you are interested, in downloading the Google or the Amazon app from the App Store on iPhones or the Google Play Store on Android phones in order to have a more convenient online shopping process, because now you can really shop from anywhere as long as you have your phone with you. So this is the Google homepage. This is where you'll go when you go to the internet and you put in something like www.google.com. And often this will actually appear automatically when you open up your browser, because this is really the main place you go to find information, to find products on the internet itself. And Google, you know you're in the right place because you see the word Google imprinted in the center of the screen. And right below the word Google, we have the search bar, which is the place you'll go to put in the prompt, to put in what you're actually looking to find. So if you wanted to find information about the weather, that's where you would put it. But in this context, we're looking to make a purchase. We're looking to find an item that we could online shop, that we could shop for directly from the Google website. So in this case, to continue our example of shoes, we're going to go ahead and put in shoes and see if we could find exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the word shoes, and you'll notice that as I'm typing that word, I get prompted with a bunch of different recommendations of types of things that I might be looking to find. For example, shoes Jordans, shoes NYC, shoes Manhattan, shoes for men, shoes for women. And this might be helpful because as opposed to having to type in the full phrase, you could actually simply just click on the result you're looking to find, and it will give you that piece of information without having to fully type it in. But for the time being, let's just click on the return or enter key and lock in the word shoes. And you'll notice that now this is what comes up when we put in the word shoes. This is that page on Google when we see our results. And you'll notice that right below the search bar, we have a few different options. The one that's highlighted says all. But to the right of that, we have shopping, images, videos, news, maps, and web. And in that context, you could simply stay on all and look at all the results that come about by the word shoes. But in this context, because we know that we're looking to shop for shoes and we're not looking to find images of shoes or videos of someone trying on shoes or anything of that nature, we're going to go ahead and tap on the word shopping, which is found directly under the Google and the search bar. And I'm going to go ahead and click on shopping, and you'll notice that now we're in the right place, and we know we're there because it says the word Google Shopping here at the top, which means we're in the right place. We're not simply looking at Google more generally now, but we're only searching results for Google Shopping. Now, right below Google Shopping, you'll notice there's a bunch of different items here. We see kind of a few different lines here. Then we see women's, men's, kids, girls, a bunch of different items that we're going to commonly refer to as filters. Now, filters in this context, and with regard to online shopping more generally, is this idea of taking different search terms and really limiting them to find exactly what you're looking for. So instead of physically going from store to store and by kind of filtering out the stores that are irrelevant to you, the stores that don't have the product you're looking for, you could do this kind of similar process online, the same way you would actually filter out something. When you want to filter, what you're doing is you're getting rid of what you don't want. You're getting rid of the unnecessary, the search results that don't align with what you're looking for. So in this context, we're looking for a pair of shoes, but maybe, as we've mentioned, we are looking for a specific style or a specific size or a specific color. And in that context, we're interested in filtering out the results that don't align with what we're looking to actually purchase. So in this context, I'm looking to purchase a pair of men's shoes, so I'm going to go ahead and tap on the word men's. So now that I've selected men's shoes, now the only results I'm going to see are shoes that fit in that category, shoes that are classified as men's shoes, getting rid of women's shoes and kids' shoes and all the other results that I'm not interested in finding. Now let's say I specifically want a specific color. In this context, let's say I'm interested in a black pair of shoes. I'm going to go ahead and tap on that filter that says black, and now not only am I looking at men's shoes, but the shoes that are being printed on the screen are in fact black pair of shoes. Now let's add one more filter to really make sure we're looking for exactly what we're trying to find. As mentioned, we're looking for a pair of Nike shoes, and Nike shoes usually produce sneakers, not formal shoes, not really casual. We're looking for a pair of Nike sneakers. So in this context, let me go ahead and add that final filter of sneakers, and now these results, as you can see under the word Google Shopping, is highlighted in blue here, men's, black, and sneakers, which means that the results that I'm going to find in my Google Shopping page are not just shoes generally, but actually reflect the type of product, the type of pair of shoes that I'm looking to in fact purchase. Now you'll notice that as I was clicking on those filters, it actually augmented the search term itself. It actually added sneakers, black, men's, shoes. It's added those words there as well to really isolate and to make clear what it is that we're trying to find. So now if I begin to scroll down, you'll notice there's this first section called popular products. These are the pairs of shoes that have come up and that people have recently purchased in the past. And you'll notice that we get a nice amount of information about each pair. In addition to having a nice clean picture of what it is that we're looking for, we also have the title as well as the style. We have the price, how much this pair of shoes cost, and we also have the company that sells the shoe. Now, Google itself is not an online shopping tool directly the same way Amazon or FreshDirect is. Google is kind of the shortcut. It's the path that takes you to different online shopping sites. Google Shopping is just this kind of database to give you access to finding those different companies. So you'll notice that here it says Simple Shoes. Over here we have DC Shoes. Here we have Coach. You'll notice that we have different companies telling you which company is in fact selling the shoe. And below that, we also have the rating, which will tell you what previous buyers, what previous people that have used these shoes have ranked, have reviewed the shoes. And you'll notice we have star rankings as well as how many written reviews if you want to read about the product and see if people have actually enjoyed wearing these types of shoes. Now we can scroll down a bit further and see more information. This category is called All Products. You see I could even bring my mouse over a specific pair of shoes and I'll actually be able to see more pictures, more information about that pair. And I could scroll down even further and you'll see I'm getting a ton of results of black men's sneakers. So you'll notice that in this case, I'm looking at all products and I want to click on one of these pairs of shoes to actually find more information and to proceed with the actual purchase. So in this case, I'm going to highlight Adidas Men's Advantage 2.0 sneaker, and you've noticed I've brought my mouse to it to see more pictures. And I am also told that there is a sale on this pair of shoes because I have in nice green font $53 and also crossed out we have 70, indicating that there is a sale on this pair of shoes. And if I go ahead and tap on this pair of shoes on the right side of the screen, you'll notice that we're able to find more information about this pair of shoes, including different styles and colors that they have, different stores that sell the shoes, because as I've mentioned, Google itself doesn't sell the shoes directly. So you'll notice we have Adidas, we have Amazon, DSW, each of which having different prices, different information, some of which have it in stock, some of which don't, but all of this information is being told to you directly up front. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on Adidas, which is the first site here, and you'll notice that when I click on Adidas, it's now not taking me to the main Adidas page, but it's already brought me directly to the pair of shoes, to the style of shoes that I'm looking to find. And now I can go ahead and go through with Adidas' site. I've left Google, and now I'm in Adidas' website, and I can go ahead and select the size I'm looking for, add it to cart or add it to bag in this case, which indicates that you're considering making the purchase, not that you've kind of fully agreed to purchase the item, but rather that you're considering making that purchase. And then, of course, going ahead and bringing it to the final stage, which is checkout, which is the sense of putting in the information such as your credit or debit card, as well as the place you want this item to be sent, whether it be your home, your office, or wherever it may be. So you have to put in those pieces of information, and we'll actually mention at the end of today's class how to go about with privacy, how to go about ensuring that by putting in your credit and debit card and your home address, that you're doing everything in the safest and in the correct fashion to make sure nothing really goes wrong. So as you can see, Google is actually quite the amazing tool. Not only is it used for finding results and answering your questions, but it really is kind of a central component to online shopping. It's your real starting ground. It's your home base to try and find different products that align with what you're looking for. And usually, as I mentioned before, Google is a great place to go when you're not sure exactly what you want to purchase, what style you want to purchase, because as you could see, it gives you many, many different results as opposed to going directly to Adidas or Nike or FreshDirect. You're basically isolating yourself to only purchasing items that fall under that umbrella, that fall under that category. But rather, Google, as you can see here, gives us results from Simple Shoes, from DC Shoes, from Coach, and the like. Many different prices, different styles, different colors, and all the like, all coming from Google. And then finally, as I mentioned, although you can search on Google broadly, it does help to use Google Shopping because then you're not seeing results such as videos or images or maps or news or press or anything of that nature, but rather you're just simply seeing the results for Google Shopping. And then last thing to review is filters, which is this idea of taking your broad search term and really isolating and making sure that you're finding exactly what you're looking for. In this case, we used men's, black, and sneakers to ensure that the results that we're getting on Google align directly with the type of product, directly with the item that we're looking to purchase. So that was a brief overview of Google online shopping. And now we're going to turn to Amazon. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at Amazon, which is, as I've mentioned, one of the most famous online shopping tools out there and was also one of the original online shopping tools that was first released when online shopping became popular back in the day. Now, Amazon is also, similarly to Google, going to be one of your go-to places. It's going to be one of those online shopping resources that you have in your mind that you'll go to when you're looking to purchase some sort of item. Now, what makes Amazon unique is, similarly to Google, it doesn't actually restrict you to any sort of type of product. The same way Fresh Direct is just groceries or Gap is just clothing, you could still go to Amazon for really anything. But what really differentiates Amazon and Google is you could actually go through with the purchase on Amazon. When you find an item on Amazon.com and you add it to your cart, you could actually go through with purchasing it directly through Amazon, even if it's being sold from a separate store. So for example, if you could find a pair of Nike shoes on Amazon, you could actually purchase it directly through Amazon without having to go to Nike.com. The same way on Google, we had to be redirected to a website like Adidas. And you'll notice I put the Amazon icon at the bottom right of the screen, indicating that you are also able to access Amazon and to use the online shopping platform on your smartphones and tablets, as well as using it on the computer, the same way we'll look at it today. But obviously, as mentioned, I definitely recommend, especially those that are new to online shopping, to starting on the computer because the text seems to be significantly bigger and you're able to get more information on the screen at once. But obviously, when you become more and more comfortable, you do have access to use the app on the smartphones and tablets as well. When using online shopping websites, it is important to create an account in the sense that you're going to store all of your information under one roof, so you don't need to continuously tell the online shopping website what you're trying to find. So in this case, we're looking at Amazon, and when you're using Amazon, it does make sense to have your own created account, so you don't need to put in your shipping address and your credit card information every single time you want to make a purchase, but rather you can include this information just once, the first time you're doing it, and then it will be saved and stored in the information every time you go back to Amazon or whatever site you're using, assuming you sign in with that same piece of information. Additionally, these websites tend to adjust what they show you based on what you are interested in. So for example, if you're shopping on Amazon and you continuously shop for clothing products, you continuously are a clothing shopper, Amazon will pick up on that and will begin to show you results, will begin to show you products of clothing items because they know that that's something that you enjoy buying and purchasing. But this really only works successfully when you're signed into your account because they're saving the information related to clothing under your account, under your name. So in this case, we're looking at Amazon, but like I've said, this applies to really any online shopping website. You're going to want to click on Create Account the first time you open up an online shopping website in order to put in the information so that when you do use the tool, you'll be able to store and only do this kind of technical stuff just once. So you'll notice it says sign in. Now, sign in usually indicates that you already have an account because you're signing in to an existing account. So you want to look for the phrase that says create your Amazon account. And you'll notice here that at the bottom of the screen, it says create your Amazon account. So the way we got to this was by going to www.amazon.com, which brings you to the Amazon homepage. And you'll always find at the top right of the screen, no matter what online shopping website you're using, you'll find a button that says sign in or create an account. So in Amazon's context, If you are not signed in, meaning you have not put in your information, you'll see a button at the top right, which I'll show you in a second. When we open up the tool itself, you'll see the words sign in, which will bring you to a page just like this. But as I've mentioned, sign in indicates that you already have an account, and it's asking for your email or your mobile phone number. But because we've never used Amazon before, because we're a new user, what you want to do is look at the bottom and click on the button, which is circled in pink here, that says create your Amazon account. Now, once you click on create your Amazon account, you'll be asked to put in a few pieces of information. In this case, it's really just four. The first being your name. Now, this should be your full name because, as you can imagine, my name is Jordan, and that is a pretty common name. So you want to make sure that your name is unique to yourself, and they'll ensure that your name is actually unique and will tell you if it's too generic. So you want to put in both your first and your last name. Then it asks for your mobile phone number or your email address. Now, you can go either route here by putting in your phone number or email. The reason why it asks for this information is for two main reasons. The first being if you want to receive email information or text information about your purchases. For example, if you want to receive a receipt or you want to receive promotions from that online shopping website, it will go to the piece of contact that you put in this box here. I would say most generally, people tend to put in their email address because that's where they tend to get these types of communications, but you're welcome to put in your mobile phone number as well. And then finally, we have password, which you're actually asked, as you might have done on other platforms, to enter it twice in order to re-enter and to reconfirm that you've put in the password that you intend to put in. And sometimes there will be restrictions. You'll notice it says right below password that it must be at least 6 characters. They also might ask you to ensure you have a capital letter or a number or some form of punctuation. We actually have an entire class on online safety and choosing the strongest passwords accessible at our website, mittlerseniortech.com. But in this context, really anything will do. Just make sure it's nice and secure, considering you'll be putting in some private information into Amazon and your other online shopping websites, such as your credit and debit card, as well as your shipping and your mailing address. And once you've put in all this information, you'll go ahead and click on the yellow continue button found at the bottom of the screen. And then finally, the last step that it will usually ask is to verify that what you've put in is in fact yours. So when you put in an email address, let's say it's jordan@mittlerseniortech.com, what it will do is it will send me an email. I will receive an email from Amazon with a 6-digit code. In this case, it's 354225. This is the code that I received to my email address. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to put that code into where it says enter OTP, one-time password. And what this is doing is to prove that you are in fact who you say you are, that you in fact have access to the email address or the phone number that you put in. So if you put in your email address, it will be sent there. And if you put in your phone number, it will be sent as a text message to your mobile phone number. And once you click on verify, you'll now be officially into your Amazon account, and you know you're there because you will be brought to the Amazon homepage. You'll see here that we're now looking at the Amazon homepage. We're looking at kind of home base for everything related to Amazon, and you'll notice there are a few similarities between the Google homepage that we looked at earlier and the Amazon homepage that we're looking at just now here. And first of all, you know you're in the right place because you see the words Amazon imprinted at the top left of the screen. This is similar to how we saw the words Google in the center of the screen. And you'll begin to get in the habit of constantly checking that you're seeing the name of the website you're using at the top of the screen. They're never trying to trick you or pretend that you're looking at a different website, but you want to ensure that you're in the right place and that you're not accidentally doing something that you might not want to do. Now, I'll also point out that at the top right of the screen, it says here, hello, sign in, accounts and lists. Now, when it says hello, sign in, this actually indicates that we aren't signed in yet. This indicates that there is still something to do in order to sign into our account. If you were successfully signed in, it would say, hello, Jordan, or hello, whatever your name may be, as opposed to hello, sign in. And when you do click on the hello, sign in button over here, it will take you to what we just walked through, which is putting in your email address or mobile phone number, your first and last name, as well as a password, and then, of course, putting in the verification number to actually successfully create your account. But when you have created your account the first time, you now don't have to do that process anymore, but rather just tapping on sign in and putting in your email address and password just once will take you directly to your personalized Amazon homepage. And when I say personalized, I mean that this homepage will actually constantly change as you use the tool in order to really best fit what you want to use Amazon for. You'll notice here that there are some categories. We see vacation, getaway, fresh home picks, high performance makeup, and it even gives a nice advertisement, as I've mentioned, to sign in for really the best experience. And you'll see here that these little categories will constantly change around depending on what types of products you like to purchase and what types of products you're interested in finding on Amazon. So you'll be aware of that, that you won't always have to kind of go through the typical process of searching and filtering to find what you're looking for, but it may well be that this piece of information, that product, may very well be found on that home page as soon as you open up Amazon itself. Now you'll notice we also have the search bar. This is also similar to Google in the sense that it says search Amazon, and this is where you'll put in your prompt. This is where you'll put in the product that you're looking to find. And you'll also notice that right below the search bar, we have a bunch of these filters similar to how we did on Google, some of which include bestsellers, today's deals, music, groceries, etc. And you can even find more by clicking on the 3 lines found on the left side of the screen. But this allows you to even select a filter before you even put in the search term you're looking for. So in this case, if we're interested in finding only products related to music, by tapping on music, now I've gotten rid of all the other types of products that I may be looking for, and now I'm only going to be shown items that are relevant to that category. Now you'll also notice that next to the search bar, it says the word all. Now this is very important because this is another filter that could really help you find what you're looking for. When you're searching all, you're searching across Amazon's entire database. But in this context, and for the same example, we'll try and find a pair of nice sneakers. We want to change that category to actually align with the type of product we're looking to find before clicking on enter, or in this case, the magnifying glass, to lock in our search and to find what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that word all there, and you'll notice that it says all departments found at the top of the screen, and I'll scroll down to find kind of what I'm looking for. I'm going to scroll down to try and find the best category for sneakers. I think clothing best fits what I'm trying to find. There might be a better one if I spend some more time looking, but for the time being, we'll select clothing, and you notice that it actually groups them in separate categories. I just noticed clothes, shoes, and jewelry, so they put them into one block instead of separating them because there is some overlap between the 3 categories. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that item, and now you'll notice that now it doesn't just say all, but it also says clothing, shoes, and jewelry. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the term shoes, and you'll notice similarly to Google that I don't just get the word shoes, but I'm getting recommendations of different other search terms that people have put in the past, including shoes for men, shoes for women, for boys, for girls, men's sneakers, women's sneakers, and much more. And as you continue to put in information into the search bar, these different results, these different recommendations will adapt. They will edit to align with what you're looking to find. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the return or the enter key on my keyboard, and I'll be prompted with all the results on Amazon in the clothing, shoes, and jewelry category that align with the keyword, that align with the search term that I put into the search bar of shoes. And you'll notice we could begin to scroll down. This looks relatively similar to what you found on Google, where you're seeing different pictures of items, different titles, different reviews, different prices, different delivery dates, even some videos of the like. You'll notice that it tells you when a product is a bestseller by flagging it at the top left. And it's broken up into some categories as well. Now you'll see, similarly to Google, that we have this option to filter our search to really find exactly what we're looking for. So in this case, you'll notice that already one filter has been set. Already we have one filter set over here, and that's our clothing, shoes, and jewelry that was set automatically before we even put in the search term because we specified it at the beginning. But let's say I have some other factors I want to keep in mind. The first being, I want to ensure that I can get this pair of shoes by tomorrow. As opposed to waiting many days, I want to ensure that I can get it by tomorrow. So you'll notice that there's an option here that says get it by tomorrow. And if I tap on that, you'll notice that now the results that I'm seeing are not just pairs of shoes that fall under the category clothing, shoes, and jewelry, but now I also see pairs of shoes that have the ability to arrive by tomorrow. And you'll notice on the top left of the screen, it actually says the word filters and tells me how many filters I have set. In this context, it's the number 2. I have 2 filters set. What are those 2 filters? Get it by tomorrow and the category clothing, shoes, and jewelry. Okay, so now you'll see that I've added 2 filters there, but if I want to add some more, I can go ahead and tap on the filters button at the top left of the screen, and I can go ahead and see different items that I want to isolate in order to find exactly what I'm looking for. In this case, as I've mentioned, I'm looking to buy a pair of Nike shoes, so I'm going to scroll down until I see the category brands, and I'm going to tap on the option that says Nike, which will actually isolate the pairs of shoes to only have results that fall under that category. Now let's say additionally I'm looking for a pair of black Nike shoes. Under the color category, I could tap on that first item that is black, and you'll see it gives me a variety of different colors to look for. So now in this context, I'm now only seeing results that fall under those 4 categories that we've mentioned, those 4 filters that we've initiated. And it says the number 4, get it by tomorrow. We want the shoes to arrive by tomorrow. We want them to be under the category of clothing, shoes, and jewelry. It says brands here, which indicates the Nike option we selected. And finally, the color, which we indicated we want a pair of black shoes. If I scroll down, now what I'm looking at is only pairs of black Nike shoes that fall under the criteria that I have selected. And you'll see videos and other options as well. And you'll notice that there actually aren't too many options. Even though we started with probably thousands of different results when we just put in the word shoes, we've done a very good job of isolating all the unnecessary ones, all the ones that don't fit the criteria that we're looking for. And this is very important because when you initiate an online shopping prompt, you will get often thousands of different results. And it might be a bit overwhelming at first because you want to try and find the product that best suits your needs. And the kind of the best concrete answer I can give you is by filtering your search, is by getting rid of what you're not interested in and isolating the types of products that line up exactly with what you want to purchase. So let's kind of go through with that next step. And let's say I want to purchase this Nike, it says Downshifter 12. That must be a style of their shoes, and that's the one I want to go ahead and purchase. And you'll notice that if I tap on the item, if I tap on whether it be the picture or the words itself, it will actually bring up an entirely new page, as opposed to Google, which it came up on the right side of the screen and gave me different paths to get to different websites. In this context, I'm brought to a whole new page that has a variety of different information about this pair of shoes. You'll notice that on the left side, we have a bunch of different pictures, and you could actually see from different angles, sometimes even some videos of the product itself. And you could even hover your mouse over the image to get a zoomed in picture if you really want to spot those details. It will tell you the brand. It will tell you the name of the product you're looking at. It will tell you the price as well if there was any sale of some sort. It looks like in this context, it was subtracted by 6%, and it tells you what the typical price is. It tells you some more product details. It tells you some information about the item. And you'll notice all the way on the right side is where you'll find the actual price and the information to proceed with the purchase. In this context, we have add to cart and buy now. Now, I'll recommend to you to typically stay away from that button that says buy now, because that will actually go through directly with the purchase without having you kind of confirm that what you've done is in fact correct. So usually, if you are interested in making a purchase, if you are interested in buying some sort of product, your first step should be adding that item to your cart. The same way if you're in a grocery store, you don't take an item and go straight to checkout. The first thing you do is put it in that shopping cart. You can continue walking through those aisles with no restriction, no obligation to buy that item. And only once you finally come to the end of your shopping experience can you walk up to the checkout and remove the items from your shopping cart and actually go through with the purchase. So in this context, you want to do the same, which is when you're looking for items and you're interested in making a purchase, you click on that yellow button that says Add to Cart. On some websites, it might say Add to Bag or Add to Shopping Cart. Any of those are the same exact thing, but it's this idea of this is a product that I'm pretty sure I want to purchase, that I'm very interested in, but I'm not obligating myself to anything yet. I'm just moving it kind of to the category, to the page of items that I'm looking to actually go ahead and purchase. You'll see if I scroll down a bit further, I can find more information about the product. In particular, there's a category that says products related to this item. In the context of online shopping, this is a very helpful tool because if you're searching for some sort of product and you scroll down, you could actually find different types of shoes in this context that are similar, maybe by pricing, or similar Nike shoes. You'll notice it gives us an Under Armour shoes, a competitor of Nike, that is a very similar price and that is also black and that also comes in the same size. So it will give you recommendations because Amazon sells really all different products from different companies. So you have that access by continuing to scroll down. If there were videos, they would be found here, more product details. And then finally, the last thing I'll mention, which is quite helpful, is the section called Customer Reviews, where you're able to find what previous purchasers, what previous buyers of this product have said about the product itself. And you'll see the star ratings found on the left side of the screen, as well as some written reviews and ratings on the right. And when you purchase products from Amazon, you also have that flexibility to express your opinions about the products by adding reviews to the site as well. So this is also very helpful if you want to purchase an item and you want to see whether people have enjoyed using it. That's a great place to go to. The customer review section, always found at the bottom of the page. But now I'll go right back up to the top where we started. This is the product. This is the product page for these Nike pairs of shoes. And like I mentioned, once we've actually decided that we want to go through with this purchase, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the yellow button found at the bottom right of the screen that says Add to Cart. And once I do that, it will give a confirmation message telling you that this item has in fact been added to the cart. It says there's a check mark, there's a little image of the item, it says added to cart, and it also tells you what your cart subtotal is. Now this subtotal is not just relevant to this product itself, but you'll also find the subtotal of all the items that you've added to your cart. So if you're shopping for a bunch of pairs of shoes or a bunch of different items, all of that information will be saved in your cart, and you'll have a cart subtotal of that price value. You also know that you've added an item to your cart when you see the number 1 inside that little cart at the top right of the screen, telling you that you have 1 item in your cart. And if you add a second item, that number will change to 2, 3, and so on. So you want to be sure to check when you add an item to your cart that you get this confirmation message. And if you don't get it, that's also fine as long as you see that number indicating that you've now added something successfully to your cart. And also you want to ensure that the subtotal aligns with what you have there. So if you have a bunch of items, that subtotal should very nicely align with the sum of all those different products. Now that I've added this to the cart, I can go ahead and continue shopping by just putting another search term into the search bar. I could use these filters to find more information, and I can continue my shopping experience. Or if I've completed shopping and I'm ready to move forward with checkout, which is the final stage of the process, I'm going to go ahead and tap on the yellow button found on the right side of the screen that says Proceed to Checkout, and it once again indicates 1 item. It once again tells me that I have 1 item saved in my cart. Now, if I was shopping elsewhere and I didn't have that item accessible, the way you'll get to your cart and to proceed to checkout is just by tapping on that little cart icon found at the top right of the screen. So you'll see here what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on that little cart icon, and I'll be brought to my shopping cart where I'll see all the items that I've added. In this case, we really just have this 1 item, but in the case that you were shopping for a little bit of some time, you'll have all the items that you've added to your shopping cart. You could very easily adjust the quantity. If you wanted to add a second pair of these shoes, you could do that quite easily. And you could delete an item from your shopping cart as well. Once again, you have no obligation to purchase an item when you add it to your shopping cart. You still have the flexibility to get rid of it. You also have an option to save it for later if you want to revisit it at a later time. But like I said, once you've kind of come to consensus, I want to buy this product, I want to proceed to the final stage, you're going to go ahead and tap on that yellow button found on the right side of the screen that says proceed to checkout. That's the button that you always want to look for when you want to go to that final stage in the Amazon shopping process, when you want to actually go through with purchasing the actual product that you're looking for. And once you click on that button, you'll be taken to the checkout page where you'll put in information such as your credit or debit card, your mailing address, your shipping address, and really confirm all the other details relevant to the delivery of the product. But like I've said, one of the benefits of creating an account is you only need to do this once. When you first create an account and when you first make your first purchase on any online shopping website, you'll be asked to put in and to save the information such as your bank account or your credit or debit card, as well as your shipping and your mailing address, so that when you go on the site again, when you go on the site for the second, the third, the fourth time, you now can simply just proceed to checkout and click on that enter, that submit button without having to put in that information, because it still has it saved in its brain from when you created your account that initial time. But you'll notice here I'm not signed in, so when I click on proceed to checkout, it will actually prompt me to do exactly what we looked at earlier, which is to sign in with this information. But as I mentioned, when you're going on Amazon for the first time, you want to tap on the create your Amazon account button, which you'll find right below sign in. And from there, as I've mentioned, you'll put in your credit or debit card, as well as the shipping and mailing address, and then you'll go ahead and click on purchase. That final button, that final yellow button, telling you that the product has been sent to Amazon in the sense that it will now be delivered to your door in however many days you've titled. Now, additionally, you'll usually receive some sort of confirmation to ensure that this item has actually been sent to Amazon. Amazon has been notified that you've asked to purchase this item, and this will come to whichever form of contact you've put into your account page. As we've mentioned, when you click on create your Amazon account, you're asked to put in a mobile phone number or email. Whichever of those you decided to put in is where the information and where the confirmation will be sent once you go ahead and purchase the item. When it comes to Amazon, products could be delivered anywhere from 1 or 2 days up to maybe a week or 2 weeks, but you want to ensure that you are presented with that information before you purchase the item. So when it came to those Nike shoes, I specified I only want to buy shoes that could arrive by tomorrow. And if you feel the same way about a specific product, you want to make sure that you get it from a certain time, a certain day or time. You want to make sure you specify that in the filters, or when you're going through the checkout process, that you indicate when exactly you want that item to be delivered. Sometimes you will have to pay an additional fee to receive the item at a more expedited time. So that was a broad overview of Amazon, one of the world's most famous online shopping tools, designed for you to purchase really anything. And you were going to Amazon when you have flexibility, when there's different things that you're considering to purchase. Amazon gives you the ability to look at products from different companies at different price points, at different styles and different sizes and all of the above. And using the techniques that we spoke about today, you can go ahead and use really any online shopping tool and go through that same process of creating an account, using the search bar and the filters to find exactly what you're looking for, adding that item or product to your cart, and eventually proceeding to checkout to finalize your purchase and to have this item appear at your doorstep really as soon as possible. So that was Amazon and Google of a broad sense, but like as I mentioned, you now have the skill set and the fundamental knowledge and feel comfortable going about into these other websites and doing the same process, using the search bar, using the filters to find really exactly what you're looking for in the convenience of your home. So to conclude today's class, we're going to speak about how to stay safe online, how to do online shopping in a safe manner. So when you're putting in your private information, you're doing it in a way where nothing really bad will happen, that you're staying safe and you're doing everything to prevent any sort of information to kind of go in places that you don't want it to go. And I will mention, in addition to what we'll cover today, if you want to go more in depth into how to stay safe online in general, we have a full online safety class that could be accessed via our website at mittlerseniortech.com to find more information about how you best could operate your computers, smartphones, and tablets, and all your technology devices in the safest fashion possible. But for today's purposes, we're going to focus on online shopping, and in particular, we're going to focus on 5 tips, 5 practices that you could take on in order to shop in the safest fashion. The first being is shopping from home. This is a recommendation that I am trying to give you in the sense that the best way to shop is when you're in your private home on your own personal Wi-Fi network. And the reason why this is usually the safest option is because when you're shopping in a public site, like let's say you're in a Starbucks or a public site with a public Wi-Fi, and there are multiple people on that Wi-Fi, there is more of a chance that they'll be able to access information that's not meant for them. But if you're on your home Wi-Fi with an encrypted password, you're now in a more secure setting where you can online shop more comfortably. So when you do have the flexibility and when you do have the ability to shop from home, I do encourage you to use that functionality and to make sure you're in your private encrypted Wi-Fi password when you're shopping online. Second is we have the HTTPS. Which, if you haven't heard of this or know what it refers to, this is always found at the beginning of each website. When you put in a website address into the internet, even if you don't put this piece of information, you'll actually find it at the left side of that web address, usually right before the www.google or .amazon.com. And there really is not much to be aware of here for your sake. The one thing I do want to point out is that letter S, which stands for safe or secure, or however you want to define it. But there are occasional websites that don't say the S. And when you don't see that S, what you want to do is leave that website right away, because it's telling you straight from the top of the screen that that website is not in fact safe. Now, when you are searching on a very common website like Amazon or Google or FreshDirect or one of these very big popular online shopping websites, it's never going to not have that S. You'll always be safe and secure. But when you're shopping on a more niche site or you're looking for a specific product that's less common, it is important to just fact check that you do see the S. And additionally, some internet browsers have given you this additional factor of putting this little lock directly to the left of the web address, telling you that the website is in fact protected, is in fact encrypted. So you do want to check to make sure it has the S and the lock. Not all web browsers have the lock, but every web browser will tell you if the website has the S. So you want to be aware to check that you do see HTTPS and not just HTTP. And on some browsers, including Google Chrome, one of the most popular ones made by Google, it does present you with this additional lock to prove to you, to verify that the website you're looking at is in fact encrypted and protected. Now, the third tip, the third technique I'll give you is to research the company or seller before making a purchase. Now, this is less relevant when you're searching on a big name like an Amazon or a FreshDirect, as mentioned earlier. But when you're online shopping on a website that's less common and less well known, it's important to do a little bit of research beforehand to see if this is a reliable site, to see if this website has done online shopping with many people in the past and people have given it good reviews. So you want to use Google or your internet tools to really verify and research the company before going through with making an actual purchase. Now, the fourth tip I'll give you is with regard to using secure payment methods, in the sense that you want to ensure when you're doing online shopping, you're using the most secure payment methods possible. With regard to credit cards, that usually tends to be the best option. Credit cards are generally the safest way to pay for items online. There are also some newer tools, such as PayPal or Google Wallet, that you could use online, which are even safer because those tools are not giving the website itself any sort of information about your card. They're just giving you your name, and PayPal itself is handling your credit card number and date and all that other information. So ideally, you want to use a tool like PayPal or Google Wallet, but additionally, credit cards are also in that category of the safest payment methods to use when shopping online. And then finally, the last tip I'll give you with regard to staying safe while online shopping is to keep a record of all the items that you purchase, similar to like a receipt, which when you do receive receipts to your email, sometimes it's very easy for them to get lost, especially when you're receiving a lot of emails each day. So in this context, I will recommend that you keep a record or a list of the items that you purchased, and especially to kind of keep a checklist of when you receive those items to ensure that you're being delivered and you are receiving the items that you have successfully purchased and of course have paid for. So once again, these 5 tips, you want to ensure you're shopping from home to ensure you're on your private internet connection. You want to ensure that you see HTTPS, that you see that S standing for secure, or the lock as well, any of which are fine. You want to research the company or seller to ensure that the company you're looking at is in fact reliable. You want to use a secure payment method, whether that be a credit card, PayPal, Google Wallet, or the like. And finally, to keep a record of all your payments and the items that you've purchased to ensure that you're receiving the items that you've paid for, and that the website isn't using your credit card or information for anything that you have not signed off on. So those are 5 main tips. But like I've mentioned, there's a lot more with regard to online safety that you could explore via our classes or many others found online. So to conclude up for today, today's class, as mentioned, was an introduction to the world of online shopping. This was an intro to a very, very big technology topic that is gradually getting bigger each day and is also improving and becoming more easy to use and more efficient. And I can imagine in 10, 15 years from now, online shopping will have changed quite a bit. So it's important to use the information covered in this class and be adaptive and be constantly using these tools in order to ensure that you are doing this in the most successful fashion. Once again, to recap, we looked at online shopping in general and what the advantages were to doing online shopping as opposed to going to a physical store. And then we specifically looked at Google as a tool, as a search engine used for finding other websites to online shop. We looked at a pair of Nike shoes, and we went to an actual website. We were redirected to a website, which we accessed through using filters and the search bar. And we looked at all the different items and pictures and prices and all those values as well. Similarly, on Amazon, we learned how to create an account. We learned how to build and sign into an account, how to put in your information, how to put in the verification code. We learned how to use the Amazon homepage to best suit our needs and filter out the items that we're looking to find, either before you put in the search by clicking on that little all, or once you put into the search by clicking on those little filters there, such as color, style, brand, or when you want the shoes or whatever product you're shopping for to be delivered to you. And then finally, to proceed through checkout, to add the item to your cart and to officially make that purchase. And then finally, today we covered how to stay safe online, how to online shop, and how to perform all of what we discussed today in the safest manner to ensure that everything that you're doing remains safe, encrypted, and protected. Now, before we wrap up for today, I do want to kind of flag that for those of you that enjoyed today's class and are looking for more information and more technology classes, we have a ton available for you. You could sign up or contribute to Mittler Senior Technology by visiting our website at mittlerseniortech.com. If you do have any questions on the content that was presented today, or you need help getting started with any of our other products or services, please feel free to send us an email or a message at info@mittlerseniortech.com. So once again, our website, mittlerseniortech.com, which you can go to access any of our other courses or send us a contribution. And then finally, to ask any questions either on today's class or anything else that we offer, feel free to send us an email at info@mittlerseniortech.com. I want to personally thank you so much for joining us on this mission to explore this world of online shopping. Hopefully this class gave you a broad introduction to how this process works, and hopefully you feel more comfortable approaching these websites really at any point and be more familiar and be more comfortable with where things are, what things look like, and how to go about making a purchase from the comfort of your home. So I'll leave you here with our website and email address to sign up for more classes and find more information. Once again, thank you so much, and bye-bye for now.